This is not real combat, but the U.S. Army is trying to make it seem like the real thing. In this exercise, American troops, aided by Afghan allies, are raiding the suspected base of an insurgent group. Such operations require cultural sensitivity and knowledge of local traditions. U.S. soldiers are taught to respect local village leaders and to work closely with Afghan security forces. Lieutenant Colonel John Nagel helped write the U.S. military handbook on counterinsurgency. He says gaining a better understanding of the Afghan people is key to defeating al-qaida and the Taliban.
It is extraordinarily important to understand the culture and not just have cultural awareness, but actually have cultural competence. To be able to work inside this culture, understand how different people think, what they value.
Afghan Army Sergeant Jalad Khan says he and his men are happy to have this opportunity to work with U.S. soldiers.
We should understand each other better. The Americans need to learn Islamic values and traditional values of Afghanistan.
Sergeant Rahmatullah Ahmadsai says troops from both countries can share knowledge and experience.
The American soldiers learn from us about the terrain in Afghanistan, and we learn from them about advanced military technology. They have more theoretical knowledge, while ours is more practical.
Ahmadsai says soldiers from both countries have the same mission.
Their goal and our goal is the same: the elimination of the enemy, al-qaida, the terrorists, and the drug traffickers.
The commander of the Afghan detachment here is Captain Najibullah Askardaza. He says this training is part of an effort to strengthen his nation's security forces so that the country can recover from 30 years of war.
In order to rebuild the foundations of the country, schools, clinics, mosques, the Afghan people need security, and that can only be provided by soldiers with better training, weapons, and equipment.
Major General Robert Durbin was in Afghanistan before assuming command of Fort Riley last year. He says U.S. troops are still needed there, but Afghan troops will one day be able to operate effectively alone.
I still think that we're a year, 2, maybe 3 from achieving that, but we already have independent operations from some of their highest quality forces, their commando forces, that have demonstrated their capabilities.
In the meantime, Colonel Nagel says the training exercises contribute to making U.S. efforts in Afghanistan much more effective.
It's really the difference between theory and practice, and every step we can take our trainers along the road to being a great advisor here at Fort Riley is a step they don't have to learn on the ground in Afghanistan.
Nagel and other U.S. officers praised the Afghans for their resilience and hard work, and they say friendships forged through these exercises help strengthen the bond between the two nations. Greg Flakus, VOA News, Fort Riley, Kansas.